Crack-a-lackin', homies. It's J Diggity Dog coming at you. Just to say that I'm about to show you something that you might have already seen. Because on one of my videos, I showed you what was going to be the intro of my next video, but then I made a bunch of other videos. But I still want to use that intro for this video. So I don't want you to see that intro and go, I think I've seen this, and skip it. So don't, because there's more after that video. And if you're confused, we might just be best friends. I spent last summer refurbishing my father-in-law's Sea Nymph 14R, R for rugged. It's a beautiful boat now, and it's in the garage. I want it to have its own spot in the back. I have a boat cover, so, you know, if it's raining or something, we're fine. But I'm talking winter snow loads, I'm talking fall leaves, I'm talking everything I want, not on this boat. Hello, everybody. How are you today? Welcome back to Simple Woods Life. My name's Jay, and guess what? I'm not a lumberjack.
Not a lumberjack.
I never said I was. At no point have you ever heard me say I was a lumberjack. Sometimes people have been like,
What do you think you're doing, Jack?
and sometimes, you know, like to feed in the lumber. But the two don't meet. Like the Spice Girls say, when two become four. Can't remember the song. Today we are embarking on a project of which I'm not entirely sure how to do it, not entirely sure how long it's gonna take, not entirely sure of all the processes and skills I don't have. Is there some crap on this here? There's that better. I'm not 100% sure how to do it, but we're gonna do it because we're in the woods, and in the woods you don't do things that you don't know how, if you can't do them. Write that down, everybody. It's a very important lesson. We're gonna build a boathouse, a boat shelter, a boat pavilion, a boat shed. Think of a picnic shelter or a picnic pavilion, wherever you are. Basically just a roof with poles. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in 6 logs in. That's what we're gonna do here. See here! You guys wanna go to the mall? I'm f***ing stalling because I don't even know how to start. Okay, this entire project, no word of a lie, is going to be me not knowing what I'm about to do next and having to trust in the moment. And that usually works for me sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Thousand years later.
All right, real talk. I didn't get to it yet. I've got one big cedar here, and I've got a bunch marked in the woods, but it has been a weirdly non-busy, extremely busy summer. So for the remainder of this video, we're gonna talk about plans.
Planning the boat shed.
Don't quote me on it, because I don't have the specific numbers, but I did read on one of my journeys that a whole circle log, say a 4x4 circle, is substantially stronger than a 4x4 cut. I don't know. I think it was something like 20 or 25%. I'm not entirely sure. But I think for the purposes of this build, we're going to be somewhere between a 4x4 and a 6x6, though I think a 6x6 is overkill. But you know, I'm also taking down either dead standing, or I'm taking down clusters where too many cedars are growing to be a benefit to any of the cedars that are growing. So thin that out by half and it'll help those trees, right? Little bit of stewardship for you. Eh? A little bit of stewardship of the land though, brah. So we'll cut that, we'll debark it all, take the bark off, and then we'll figure out our lengths. I do want to go in the ground. Ideally, I'd like to go 3, maybe 4 feet, but it's all going to depend on what I encounter when I get down there. If I'm getting into tree roots or like big gravel or rock deposits, I don't know. Dude, I'm a fella with a shovel. I'm just a fella with a shovel. So I'm not going to be breaking the old back. But we're gonna do 6, we'll get into the actual dimensions, and we'll talk about that as we get into the build itself. So those will become essentially our log columns, right? All right, stay with me here because I've been sketching this and figuring it out. We're gonna have our 6 columns, 3 on each side, spread apart, total width of the boat plus a bit, so you could be, you know, getting your crap ready before you hit the high water.
Before you hit the soupy sails.
Then we're gonna put on top of our 3 on each side 6. We're gonna put a big beam across the 3 on each side. Big long one. So whatever the length of our pavilion's gonna be, that's where that big beam will come into place. And I will notch it. After I've cut everything to the right height, the columns all to the right height, I'll notch the beam so it kind of sits a little over, right? Kind of interlocking, you know, kind of interlock. I don't want to make any gestures because, you know, people are rude and they think rude things, and then they think that you said something that was rude, but I never said nothing rude. So we'll have that happen. Imagine I've made a W out of masking tape. That's and then it's upside down. So I guess an M. I've made an M out of masking tape. Twice. M and M. And I'll tell you, I prefer Smarties. And Americans, I'm not talking about rockets. I'm talking about motherfucking Smarties. Okay, so we got our log columns, we got our log beams, right? And then what we've got to do is go across each column with another log beam, right? So these 2 structures will be standing by themselves. Now we're going to tie them together, and that'll be another 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pieces of lumber. And so now we've basically got, this will be the final sort of, not the final inside height, but like the final height that'll be inside the boat shed without hitting the noggin. Then I'm gonna put off of these trusses. I feel like a airplane attendant. I'm gonna put more trusses up on the front and on the back and in the middle, right? So we got our columns, we got our trusses, we got 3 more trusses. And then we'll do, like, on the front and on the back, we'll have a little bit of fun, and also it's structural. We'll cut sort of a support post and a couple of bracket posts for that load. And probably that large front truss too, I'll put a couple of support brackets. Because I'm a funny guy like that, you know? I like to have support brackets in as many places as I possibly can. But I want to keep in mind I'm not reducing head height when I do that. Because I am a tall fella, right? I know it's hard to tell on video, but I'm like almost 8'13", 8'14" even. Tall. It's hard to find hats. I'm so tall, you know? Then we'll put our purlins on, and those will be 3 more. I'll do 3 on each side is what I've sketched. 3 on each side, they'll go across the top of the trusses, and they'll make everything like stupid solid. Like, I could probably put the boat on top of this thing. It's going to be so solid. But now the purlins is where I'm kind of, is where my brain starts to hurt, because logs are not like wieners. I meant hot dogs, you filthy bastards. Logs taper, right? Like a candlestick, like one of them real fancy candlesticks. You know, like the kind that they put like in a candelabra, right? So I'm trying to figure out, when I put the purlins on, I don't know, man, like, do I snap a line or like I maybe put up a line or something to figure out what's level? Because after that is metal roof, or like maybe some plywood and then metal roof. I don't know, probably just metal roof. That's what I did on the woodshed. But on the woodshed, it was all 2x4, right? So I knew everything was the same height. That's where the gears are kind of spinning. Like, if I've got the truss and this purlin's thin at the front, but it's thick at the back, then I don't know what, I guess maybe I'd notch it out at the back deeper. So I want them all to be relatively, because I don't want my roof to look like something out of Willy Wonka. No, Willy Wonka didn't have crooked roofs, did he? Maybe some sort of Lilliputian village. Then comes the metal roof, and I'll probably just take, I don't know if I'm gonna saw some boards or just buy some trim boards or whatever, but I'll trim the whole piece, you know, the fascia, trim it all nice like. And that'll essentially be boat shed 1.0. 2.0 might be walls. We'll worry about that later. But that's the plan, man. That's the plan. And the plans may change. I don't know. I'm not a... Do I look like Kreskin? No, I don't. No, I don't look like Kreskin, bro. That's it, that's all. I got a preemptive step 2, as the great Mr. Wallace says. Oh. That's like smashing the champagne across the front part of your boat to launch it into the water. Which, how apropos, since we're building a boat shed, for me to discuss the boat. But that's what we're gonna do. This is a big project. It's gonna be a bunch of parts. We're gonna get our lumber. We're gonna debark our lumber. Maybe we'll try some of that Shosugiban. I'm not sure. I'll figure out how to say it between now and then. And I'll get myself a haircut maybe at some point. And we'll dig some holes and we'll get the first thing started. And so on that front, my friends, because it came and went, the August super blue moon, the sturgeon moon, gracing our skies as this video closes. And we'll be back on track. I'll talk to you soon. This is J Diggity Dog saying, as a moose head, you gotta drink it. It doesn't taste like a moose.